welcome to another episode of the Played on Repeat podcast, the podcast where I go back to some of my favorite albums and review them through the context of my current music tastes. On this one, we're going to be talking about Blizzard of Oz by Ozzy Osbourne. Since the passing of Ozzy last week, he's pretty much all I've been listening to, so I figured why not go over another Ozzy album on the channel. And what better one to do than the first one that he did out on his own. This is the first album he did after being kicked out of Black Sabbath. And it was a huge album for the metal genre as a whole and for his career. It revitalized his career and it kept him going. And it was just really huge. This one was Ozzy's debut album after leaving Sabbath. Like I said, the album was ranked 9th on Rolling Stone's list of 100 greatest metal albums of all time. Though it did get a lot of success, the album did have some controversy tied to the track Suicide Solution after a 19-year-old who committed suicide's parents blamed the action on the music he listened to and cited Suicide Solution specifically from Ozzy. This one's always been one of my favorite albums from Ozzy, Sabbath or otherwise. I think it's my second favorite of his solo albums, though it's like very, very close with No More Tears in my opinion. They're kind of 1A, 1B when it comes to Ozzy. It's an 8.5 out of 10 before this listen. Let's get into the songs. Song 1, I Don't Know. This one was written by Ozzy about the confusion and the depression he was feeling after being kicked out of Black Sabbath. The song starts with an ambient noise fading in, and the guitar riff starts soon after that. Ozzy also begins singing shortly after the guitar riff starts. This song has one of my favorite riffs from Randy Rhoads in his time with Ozzy Osbourne in the two albums that he was with Ozzy. There's a section in the middle where we slow down in the instruments as well as Ozzy's voice clean up. The song also has a pretty cool solo from Rhoads after that part as well. After the solo, we return to the main riff and structure of the song from the first half of the song. The song goes out on a final I Don't Know from Ozzy. I Don't Know is 5 minutes and 15 seconds, and this one is a great way for Ozzy to jump off his solo career. I feel like it was the right choice for an opener to the album. I've always really enjoyed it, and that didn't change on this listen. It's an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Song 2, Crazy Train. This one is the debut single for the album and the absolute most popular song from Ozzy's solo career, if not his whole career, period. This is one of those songs that you're going to hear at every sporting event you go to for the rest of your life and the rest of human existence. This is one of those pump-up songs that every sport team loves to use. The lyrics are about the Cold War and the fear of imminent war at the time. The song opens with the iconic All Aboard from Ozzy and a maniacal laugh. We quickly get into an even more iconic guitar intro immediately after that. We settle into the main verse riff very quickly after, and Ozzy begins singing. This song also has one of the best guitar solos in the entire history of rock music. It's another one of those that every guitar player ever that has learned guitar has attempted to play this solo at least. If not, if they weren't able to figure it out, they tried to. I know I learned it probably 4 or 5 years in playing guitar, and it's an amazing solo. I also love Randy's use of natural harmonics throughout the song to add some flavor to the guitar parts. I've always been a really big fan of natural harmonics. I don't feel like they get used enough, but Randy did use them in this song. We go out on a fade out of all the instruments. Crazy Train is 4 minutes and 53 seconds and is the most iconic song from Ozzy's discography for a reason. It has been and always will be one of my favorite songs, period, not just one of my favorite Ozzy songs. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Song 3, Goodbye to Romance. This one was the first track written for Blizzard of Oz and the first song that Ozzy and guitarist Randy Rhoads wrote together. Ozzy has said that the song was written as his farewell to Black Sabbath. The song opens with a clean guitar part and Ozzy singing cleanly as well. Right away, the song sounds very mournful, which I assume to be the way Ozzy was feeling when he was thinking about all that he had lost. He lost a massive part of his life. He lost the band that he created metal with. He lost some of his best friends that he would ever have in his life. For an extended period of time, they didn't really get along. And it was because of decisions that he had made in his life and addictions that he had, and he had to kind of introspectively think about the fact that he had lost all this stuff and it was his fault. And we ramp up a bit for a short solo in the middle of this song, but we go right back down to the same level as the intro after we finish that solo. The song slowly fades out to end it. This one was 5 minutes and 35 seconds, and it's a great highlight of Ozzy's feelings as he left Black Sabbath and how much it hurt him to have to do so. It's not one I put on like all the time because of how kind of sad the story behind it is, but it's definitely a good song. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. Song 4, D. This one's just a short 50-second instrumental of some kind of classical sounding guitar from Randy Rhoads, like acoustic guitar. It's not enough of a song for me to put a score on, but it is a track, so I wanted to mention it here. Song 5, Suicide Solution. Osbourne said in 91 the song was written about the death of AC/DC's Bon Scott in 1980, but Bob Daisley revealed in 2002 that he had Ozzy himself in mind when he wrote the lyrics to the song because he felt like this was a path that Ozzy could have gone down. The riff was based on another riff that Randy Rhoads had used on a song with Quiet Riot on the song called Force of Habit. This song opens with the guitar riff and it plays a couple times, then Ozzy starts singing. This song has one of my favorite vocal performances from Ozzy. There's a really cool breakdown sort of part in the middle as well that goes on for a while before we return to the main riff. We go out on a fade out once again on this one. This one was 4 minutes and 18 seconds, and it's another favorite of mine from Ozzy. I've always really loved the song, but I've never really put much thought into the lyrics or anything. I just love the instrumental of it. But now, kind of knowing the backstory to the lyrics, I understand where Bob Daisley was coming from with the way that Ozzy was in the 70s, 80s. It's very possible that this could have been the path that Ozzy went down in his life, and I'm so glad that it wasn't, and I'm so glad he got as long on this earth as he did, and he got to do as much as he did with his time on the earth. It's just, I'm glad that we avoided this being his story. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. Song 6, Mr. Crowley. This song is about an English occultist, Aleister Crowley. This one is the second of 2 singles for the album, the first being Crazy Train, obviously. We talked about that already. The song opens with a keyboard solo from Don Airey. Then when it's done, we hear Ozzy just say, Mr. Crowley. Then we get into the main riff and the song, Ozzy delivering verses, stuff like that. After the first solo, we get into more verses. And then the second solo at the very back of this song is my personal favorite solo from Randy Rhoads. He was just such a great guitar player, and he was one of those guys that could kind of mesh like classical guitar, his classical training, with metal in a way that not a lot of people do, and he was a unique sounding player, and it really kind of shines in the Mr. Crowley solo, and I just really loved it for that reason. This one's 5 minutes and 2 seconds, and it's my personal favorite song from the album, even a little higher than Crazy Train, but it's on the exact same level. I'm also going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Song 7, No Bone Movies. This is a song about a man who is addicted to porn. It begins on a count in and a pretty cool riff from Randy. The song overall is very much more bluesy than the rest of the album, and the guitar solo included. The solo also sounds like a solo from like a Foghat song type of thing, like that type of blues, like a blues rock type of feel to it is what it felt like to me. The song ends on Ozzy repeating No Bone Movies about 100 times in a row. It feels like it goes on forever. This one was 3 minutes and 52 seconds, and in my opinion, it never really found its footing completely. I didn't hate it; it just kind of felt off in some way, like they didn't catch their stride. If that makes sense. It's definitely my least favorite song from the album. To this point, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. Song 8, Revelation, Mother Earth. This song is about how we are destroying our own planet. The song opens with a clean guitar part and angelic keys in the background. Ozzy begins singing short after the intro. The instrumentals in the first half are very simple, and they pick up some for later verses. They get progressively more distorted until the lyrics are done. And at that point, we have about a 3-minute instrumental for the second half of the song. The solo at the end of the song is an underrated gem from Randy. Personally, I really enjoyed the solo in this song from him. Like I said before, his classical training shines through in this one. I really enjoyed that, and we end on this solo. This one was 6 minutes and 9 seconds, and I really liked it. It had been quite a while since I'd heard this one, but and I feel like I didn't really like it all that much the last time I heard it, but I really enjoyed it on this listen, and it's an 8 out of 10 for me. Song 9, Still Away the Night. This one is just simply about enjoying the night and having a good time. It begins with a really cool riff that actually flows really well with the end of the song before it. Like I didn't even realize we had changed songs for about 30 seconds. And I really like when albums do that, personally. Like, yes, I do like albums to have songs that kind of stand out on their own, but I think it's pretty cool when you can tell that people put a lot of thought into this song goes after this song after this song, and you can tell that they did it here. And this one is full of energy as well. It started fast and high tempo, and it stays that way. This one has a really cool solo from Rhoads as well. Just about every one of his solos are great. They're kind of standouts on every song that he's on. So, you hear that all the way through this video that, he had really cool solo in this song or in that song, but that's just the kind of guitar player he was. He's one of the greatest guitar players to ever live. And he's one of those guys that we lost at a really young age to something that, it was so preventable. He died in a plane crash while he was, trying to do a prank on somebody or something like that is the story behind it. And it's just unnecessary, and it sucks to lose a talent like that as young as you did, because you only got his stuff with Quiet Riot, which at the time hadn't even released in the United States. It only released in Japan at this point. And, you got 2 albums of him with Ozzy Osbourne, and it's just really sad that we didn't get more from Randy than we did. But this one was 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and it's a great way to end the album with a lot of energy and kind of leave people wanting more from this new solo band from Ozzy. They did a great job picking both a song to begin and to end this album. And, that's super important. Like, you have to punch somebody in the face to come in and let them know, hey, this is what we're about. And then you have to leave them wanting more at the end to, kind of have people begging for another album, which this album pulls off really well in my opinion. This song was an 8.5 out of 10 for me. That all added up and averaged out brought me to an 8.5, exactly where I had it before this listen. So my thoughts on this one haven't changed a ton, and if they have at all, the changes have balanced each other out from all the different songs. With all that being said, I just have to take a second to say rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. He was an absolute legend and had a huge impact on my life personally, as he created the genre of music that I loved the most. And it's just, he's one of those guys that he felt, I'm not going to say he felt immortal, but I expected to hear of Ozzy passing when I was a young kid, and it just never happened. And so it had kind of left my mind, and I hadn't thought about the fact that we were going to lose Ozzy anytime soon, especially with him having just had a concert. Granted, he didn't look great, like health-wise at the concert, but I didn't think it would be as soon as it was that we lost Ozzy. So thank you, Ozzy, for everything you did. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and come back to see me on my next one. Also, please follow my TikTok if you haven't, at Play It On Repeat Pod. We do metal discussions over there almost every day. Thanks again. Bye.